Okay, I am Zakaria Mbela, and I'm a man of God. Okay, I'm not a preacher, I'm not an evangelist, I'm not a bishop or pastor or such, but I'm just a man of God. I'm God's creation. Some people may say that we are the heirs together with Christ. Some will say that we are the co-creators with God, all those. So far it explains that we are the creation of God. So today, I want to preach, for I said I'm going to speak, preacher. Let's just share from the Bible. And I'm having a good news Bible by the Gideons. And I would like us to share from the Old Testament in the book of Daniel. We are sharing from the book of Daniel, chapter 3. Daniel chapter 3, and let's just start from verse 13. And the heading there says that Daniel's three friends are accused of disobedience. This was just the accusation by Nebuchadnezzar. So let me read it for you. And the king, that is verse 13, at that the king flew into the rage and ordered the three men to be brought before him. He said to them, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, is it true that you have refused to worship my gods and to bow down to the gold statue I have set up? Now then, as soon as you hear the sound of the trumpets, bows, lyres, zithers, harps, and all other instruments, bow down and worship the statue. If you don't, you will immediately be thrown in a blazing furnace. Do you think there is any God who can save you? Verse 16. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered, Your Majesty, we will not try to defend ourselves. If the God whom we serve is able to save us from the blazing furnace and from your power, then he will. But even if he doesn't, Your Majesty may be sure that we will not worship your God, and we will not bow down to the gold statue that you set up. So in this one now, we get to know of these friends of ours in the Bible, in this book. The friends are Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and these were friends also to Daniel. So these people were told, were brought in front of Nebuchadnezzar, King Nebuchadnezzar, just because they had failed to adhere to the rules of the land that they should be worshipping this golden god. It's like an idol, so they were told to participate in the idolatry. So they refused. They say that we want to worship. So they were given this last chance that if you don't worship, or if you don't move on according to the beating of the trumpet and dance, and worship my golden God, I will throw you into a furnace of blazing fire. So these people, or these friends of ours, again didn't mind about it. They say that, okay, if our God will not be able to save us, we will just die. But what we assure you is that we won't worship your God. We won't worship this God of yours. So, as from that point now, we can see that these people, or these friends of ours, had got that might, or had got that courage, you see, that they can face the king and even say those words. And they also, we can say that they had got strong. They are strong. They were staunch people. They were overzealous. We say that these people had got strong faith that it could not be moved by this king, because now they stood up by their God, and even after the threats from the king, they didn't even mind about it. They were ready to be thrown in the furnace of fire, and even if they'll get burnt up, they didn't mind about it. So, from that point, we see the point of faith. These people were faithful, and they had got trust in the God. So again, as you move on, or as you read down there, you'll find that at the end, these people were sentenced to death, and they were thrown in a den of lions, thrown there so that they could be but they could be burnt. They were thrown in that in that furnace, blazing furnace, so that they could be burnt. They could get burnt. But again, the angel of God was with them, and they were not burnt. For example, if you go there in verse 25, they say. They say that in verse 25, Daniel chapter 3, verse 25, they say, then why do this is the king Nebuchadnezzar? Then why do I see the four men walking? Do I see four men walking about the fire? He asked. They are not tied up, and they show no sign of being hurt. And the fourth man looks like an angel. So there was an angel who came in. There were three, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, but there was another one who came in to protect them. This was the angel of God who was sent by God. So you see, if you put your faith in the Lord and just adhere to what the Lord moves you, you'll see that He'll offer protection. In a furnace, if you normal human being, you just are thrown in a furnace, unless you have a great faith, you just get burnt. So these people, these gentlemen of ours, were not burnt. So what should we learn here? Is that we should have a strong faith. We should have a strong faith in our God. If these people didn't have faith, there got several options. So here, what I will tell you is that we should not be like the hyena. The hyena, that is one who has no stand. The hyena has got no stand. He can move here, he can move here. He likes getting all. So you should not be like people who have got no stand that you can be moved. You should not be movable. We should have to keep our spiritual fire burning. Wherever we are, we should keep our spiritual fire burning. We should be standing by our God. Because there are various options which you can be looking at here. You can see, okay, here the things are getting tough. Let me go to another point here. Let me go to this. There are several choices or options which you can. But we should be having a stand. In Swahili, we say moto usizime. We should keep the spiritual fire burning. The fire we should in our hearts should be burning, in that we should not just betray our God. And having the options, these people also had options. As I'm saying that we've got options, several options which can move, but these people also have options. They could have said, for example, they could have said, okay, I can denounce God. They were told to denounce God by Nebuchadnezzar, so that they worship Nebuchadnezzar's God. So they can say, okay, they will have got this option of saying, I can denounce God, because now here, after all, when I denounce God, there's no one who will suffer in my expense. I'm the only one who will suffer. If, for example, the three had denounced God, they were the ones to be banned, no one else would have been banned, So they had that option. Again, they had that option of saying that no one will see us. Yeah, I can denounce God because no one will see us. After all, here we are only with the king, and I can just denounce God and just be with the king. No one will know that you've done it. I can denounce God, and when I move out, I continue with my God. So that's another option if they had. Again, they had the option of saying that, okay, to enjoy with this king, or to enjoy the favors from the king, let's denounce God. They could have denounced God so that to enjoy the favors of the king, because now the king was here to favor them. If they could have denounced the Lord, so they could have said, let's denounce God so as to enjoy the favors of the king. But they never given up. Besides having all these choices or options, they never given up, but they stood up by their faith that they will serve the living God, the Most High. So at the end, you see that Nebuchadnezzar resigned. At the end, he resigned, and again, he just called them out and he just given them out. For example, when you see at verse 26, the same chapter 3, verse 26, you see that. So Nebuchadnezzar went up to the door of the blazing furnace and called out, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, servants of the supreme God. You see, servants of the supreme God, come out. And they came out at once. All the princes, governors, lieutenant governors, and other officials of the king gathered to look at the three men who had not been harmed by the fire. Their hair was not singed, their clothes were not burnt, and they had no smell of the smoke of them. The king said, praise the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. He sent his angel and rescued these men who serve and trust him. They disobeyed my orders and risked their lives rather than bow down and worship my God except their own. And now I command, if anyone of any nation, race, or language speaks despitefully of the God of Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego, he is to be torn limb from limb, and his house is to be made of pile of ruins. There is no other God who can rescue like this. And the king promoted Meshach, Shadrach, Abednego to higher positions in the province of Babylon. So we see what we've had here is that our God is great, that He saved these people, and after saving these people, the king Nebuchadnezzar now manifested and said that the Lord actually of Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego is the one actually who should be served, and He ordered everyone in that country, or in that place, in that city, in that place of Babylon, or in that province of Babylon, to worship this God of Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego. And again, these people were given promoted. You see, they were promoted. They were given promotions. You see now. So there's an advantage of serving this supreme God. Should be enjoying the fact that the God is making us live. Yes, God gets future plans for us. No matter where you are, no matter the challenges which you meet, actually challenges are there to make us more stronger and make us pursue our life. So here now, you see that these people of ours, or these friends of ours, were boosted, or they were promoted. So what I will tell you is that at the end we see now Nebuchadnezzar resigned, and he said, let the people be gotten out. So this is the God's plan. This was God's plan. God's plan actually, if God plans something, actually He can do anything so as His power to be manifested. So here we think that God has manifested Himself through these three gentlemen. And through that now we get to learn that we should be strong in faith. That is the theme. Let's keep the fire burning. Let this spiritual fire keep burning, such that we cannot reside in simple matters, such that we cannot be lied upon by simple guys. You see. Again, let's have that verse, or that memory verse which can tell us that we keep the fire burning. Let's go to Leviticus. We say that it is the we have it in the Holy Bible before Deuteronomy, before Numbers. You have Leviticus, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, and Numbers. So the third book in the Bible, Leviticus chapter 12, verse 3. Leviticus chapter 6, verse 12 to 13. Leviticus 6, verse 12 to 13. Let's read there. Leviticus 12, verse 6 to 13. Leviticus 6, I'm sorry, people. It's Leviticus 6, verse 12 to 13. So, let me read from my GNB by the Gideon. The fire of the altar must be kept burning and never allowed to go out. Every morning the priest shall put firewood on it, arrange the burnt offering on it, and burn the fat of the fellowship offering. The fire must always be kept burning, and the altar never allowed to go out. So we should be keeping our spiritual fire burning. That was the theme of the day. We should keep our spiritual fire burning. And I thank you, my audience. Thank you for listening to me. And I know that if we are here and move by this word, we will be transformed creatures. Okay, this didn't just come from me, but it was quoted somewhere by he is an archdeacon in Kenya, Taita Taveta diocese. He comes from Taita Taveta diocese, and he is called Livingstone Mangombe. He is an archdeacon of Peruga archdeacon this season as per now, 2013. He is the archdeacon. That is the one who came to Mnam SK and shared with the people. Thank you very much. Let's move and let's keep the fire burning.